Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today you join me and my wife in our brand new vehicle. This is our X5, it's the xDrive 40i, and today we have a lot to cover going from our previous X5 to this model here. This has been a dream SUV for my wife for a long time, which is why we decided to get into one initially, but now we're on X5 number 2 in 2 years, right?
2 years,
2 years. So this will be our update of our previous X5 first. Then we're going to talk about why we got rid of it for this model, and we'll go over likes and dislikes, and we have a lot of stats to cover. So I'm going to let my wife start off with our previous X5, which was the xDrive 45e. So the E stands for, or means that it was the plug-in hybrid. So I'll let you roll from here, and just, you're up.
Okay. Thanks, honey. So my first X5, which was the X5...
The 45e.
45e, thank you. There's a lot of numbers with these cars. I loved it. It was my dream car. I don't have any complaints about it. Honestly, it was perfect, and aside from the reason why we decided to get rid of it, I could have kept it forever. It rode like a dream. I felt like I was floating when I drove it. I'm very much into soft, gentle suspension where I'm not feeling every single bump, and that car was fantastic for that.
Now with the 45e2, it did have the adaptive height adjustable air ride suspension,
yes,
which we don't have on this, and we'll get to that soon, but I think that's maybe another reason why you like the plush feel, because the adaptive ride is obviously like the pinnacle of suspensions and how they ride, at least for that type of comfort.
I think the only thing that I didn't like about the car, which I will complain about every single BMW, and do not come at me because I like my sunglass holders and they don't have them.
Well, you like to use this storage bin over here.
We've made it work, but I do think a sunglass holder for me in particular is very nice. Otherwise, I loved it. It was a great car.
With the 45e as well, it had the factory hitch on it, which is something at the time I sold my truck. So when we saw this BMW come up, at least from the searches that we've done, I don't see them come with the factory installed hitch that often. So that's kind of was a win-win for that particular model at our time. And honestly, if you're looking for a luxury SUV that can tow, you can't go wrong with the X5. I've used that one. We might use this one at some point. I do have to install the hitch for this particular model, but they can tow 6,000 to 7,000 pounds and do it well. The 45e towed 6,000 pounds with ease, and I was super impressed with just how they tow. A lot of people buy these and they don't tow, but if you're looking for a luxury all-purpose SUV, basically, I think it's a good option to go with. With the 45e, we have some other content that we've made on it. We did have a few issues with the car. One was a dead battery, which you can't fault because that's going to happen in any car. But when the battery goes out in these vehicles with all the new electronics, pretty much everything goes out. That was kind of tied into a software update that we did at the same time, which I think drained the battery as well. So that was a whole nother issue where I made a full video on that if you want to see more in details in that. But overall, aside from a software update glitch, I'll call it, we really didn't have any issues with that car.
No, I loved it.
Oh, we did have a rear differential oil leak, which was just a seal replacement, and that was covered under warranty, which is great. And that's a cool thing too with the certified pre-owned BMWs. Our 2022 still had, was it 4.5 years of warranty left?
Yeah, they had a decent. Yeah,
2022 to 2026.
Yeah,
the end of 26.
That's true. Yeah.
So with this model here, we have another 4.5 years of the factory warranty, which if you watch our channel, I do everything in the garage. If we can get a new or used vehicle with a warranty, and there's some things where you might as well use the warranty, I think that's great. For people who don't work on their vehicles, like if you bought this without me, the warranty is definitely extremely helpful because you have 4 years to go through all of that and either make sure there's no kinks or just have some warranty work done, whatever it may be. So now let's move on to why we decided to get rid of your dream car. This was your dream car. We traded in a 100,000 mile Honda CR-V for it, and this was the car that we were going to have for a while, right?
It was also the car that Mike needed to tow his dirt bikes. It was a win-win for everybody.
It was a win-win at the time, yeah. So with the plug-in hybrid from BMW, now we're not not poking fun. We're not singling out BMW. This is any plug-in hybrid because they're all going to act very similar. If you're new to the channel, I review and drive so many cars. We get a lot of plug-in hybrids as press cars. I've been around them, not just with the X5. But this was a vehicle that looked better on paper than it did in reality.
I think for the short term under warranty, fantastic. Like you can't go wrong with it. But when it comes to keeping it, I personally would like to keep my car for a chunk of time. You know, Mike's very into getting rid of cars every couple years. He loves to see the new thing. That's his thing. I like to keep mine. I'm a creature of habit, and so while I'm happy to go along with what's needed, I also would like to keep this for a little bit of time. So there's longevity issues around that, in my opinion.
That is one of the major reasons that we decided to get away from the plug-in hybrid, because like I mentioned earlier, I like to do things myself. And while this model here has the B58, it's the inline 6-cylinder turbo, which is in the Toyota Supra, if you're unfamiliar with that. The plug-in hybrid also had the same engine, so it was the same B58, but you had the plug-in hybrid system, and that is not something I'm certified in. That's not something I care to even dive into with trying to figure out electronics in the garage. So that was another big factor in wanting to just go to the engine. This does have a mild hybrid system in it, but it's not nearly as complex as the plug-in hybrid. So while there's still some of the hybrid-ish tech in this, that's going to be a little bit more manageable. Cost will be significantly less than the massive battery in the plug-in hybrid. And it's just not something I see 20 years from now being able to, replace a battery, replace something in the engine that is very minimal. I could do myself, and you keep the vehicle going. You have these massive batteries located underneath the cargo space, and it's just, in my opinion, it's a headache.
Yeah.
But that's because I work on vehicles myself.
And also, you have to be very careful because it's a lot of electricity going through there, and we both would not want him to be electrocuted trying to figure out how to do something, and he does the wrong thing. And then it's very expensive at this point in time to replace those batteries when they are out of warranty. I think
the dealer quoted $8,000 without labor.
Yeah.
It was somewhere around there.
It was very expensive. I think over time, I'm sure car manufacturers will get to a point where it is more manageable, because that's going to become an issue for a lot of people, and these cars are just really probably going to end up sitting unless they can become a little more financially attainable.
Yeah. And I think another thing with the plug-in hybrid in general is looking at the numbers on paper versus reality of actually driving and owning it. So if you want to pull up these numbers here now, with the plug-in hybrid, if you're unfamiliar with it, you do have a full EV mode that you can use. With the 45E specifically, it was around 30 miles of just EV.
Yep.
Obviously, you had the gas. You could combine it. You could just do the engine and save on the battery, or you had adaptive, so the vehicle would adapt somehow to either your driving habit, pattern, condition, how much throttle input, whatever it may be. The vehicle would pick and choose for you. So at first we thought, oh, this is great. You don't drive very far often during the week. No. You could just put it in EV mode and we'd be fine. Well, the 30 miles with a vehicle that weighs 500 or 600 pounds more than this, which is the non-plug-in hybrid, you have a battery that's getting depleted quicker because it's pushing even more weight than this.
Yeah.
So your trips, your 8 miles a day, you really didn't even use EV because it depleted. 30 miles sounds great. You can go 30 miles, but in reality, it wasn't actually 30 miles because it would deplete super quick.
And if you forget to plug it in, it doesn't charge quickly overnight.
Well,
we don't have the setup for it, right? And we weren't planning on keeping it for super long, so there was no point in putting the setup in.
Right, yeah, we didn't.
There's no point to put the
setup in.
No
level 2 charger or anything fancy, which obviously would cut down on your charging time.
And it didn't always charge it to the full effect because of that. And so, there were a lot of reasons for us around this. While it was such a fantastic car, we weren't really set up to keep a plug-in hybrid for a long time.
Right. So let's actually get into the numbers now that I have some notes for you to read. We'll start off with the plug-in hybrid, so the 45E.
Okay. Yep. So the 45E was a 18.2 gallon.
For the fuel tank.
And then we got roughly, you say 600 miles with that plug-in hybrid?
So 600 miles was a stretch, and that was plugging in the vehicle every single day.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do a test. We had a full tank. I was like, all right, let's see how far we can go. Let's see if we can even run out of fuel and just have our 30 miles of EV. I got it down to, I think we had 30 miles of fuel left with the 30 miles of range. So I didn't quite deplete it, but 600 is a stretch if you are plugging it at every single day.
Without charging it, it's roughly 450 miles, which is 25 miles to the gallon.
It's a rough estimate of the mid 400 miles.
Not charging it.
Without charging it, yep. So that includes the engine charging the battery, doing the battery saving mode, and just driving it, maybe an occasional charge or so. But so you can estimate 420, 450, up to possibly 600, depending on your driving style and your charging, of course. And with that, you can expect 20 to 25 miles per gallon in that huge range. So let's move on to this car now. This is the 40i, all-wheel drive, just like the 45e. And this has a bigger fuel tank. Because there's no hybrid battery components, it jumps up to 21.2?
21.8.
21.8. And so we just filled up this vehicle. So we've gone through almost a whole tank. When we filled this up, so still sitting in the gas station, the range showed 626 for the mile. So already that's above having the hassle of charging a plug-in hybrid in every single day. But in reality, when we bought this vehicle, I think it was in the mid 500s. I don't know if it was completely full. Maybe they missed a few gallons or so. But what are the numbers that we read? Because we went down to 108 miles left on fuel, so it was about a quarter tank. 108
miles we had to go, and then we had gone around 455 miles.
Yep.
Which is 20 miles per gallon.
Okay, so that I think would be almost the lowest. So 20 miles per gallon, which is on par with the plug-in hybrid without charging it, right?
Yep.
And so now we're at 626 of what we started, and if you do the math on that, it was it 28? So I don't think we're going to see 28, but we can expect to see, let's call it in the middle, maybe 24, 23 mpg, somewhere around there, depending on driving style, highway, city, things like that.
Yeah.
So off the bat already, we have no hassle of having to plug it in every single day. We don't have the hassle of replacing an $8,000 battery. That's just an estimate. It's somewhere up there. And we can go just as far. We have less weight, so the vehicle weighs less. Already, those 3 check boxes, I'm very pleased with getting away from the plug-in hybrid.
Yeah.
And that's it on the list, right?
And then you want to talk about the supercar benefits.
So I'll mention that briefly. You can take a look at the Corvette C8 E-Ray content that we've been able to make. That is a hybrid. It's not a plug-in, but the technology in that I think is very cool. So I own a hybrid Tacoma, so it's not a plug-in. I have a battery underneath the rear seats. I think the hybrid and the hybrid tech in the C8 E-Ray is definitely a lot more beneficial. Again, take a look at all those videos. We go into more depths with it. The plug-in hybrid, I'm just not a huge fan of. If you can, even with my Tacoma, it's a hybrid. You can't do EV, but you have the hybrid system in the background. It's helping a little bit with MPG, and it gives you a lot more power too. With the E-Ray, you can use EV. It's 2 or 3 miles, but you get a lot of power benefits with a sports car like that. And we see some of that in higher end sports cars too. So I won't go in too much details with that small side topic there, but I'm a fan of hybrid technology. It's just the plug-in hybrid was, in our opinion, it was a hassle, and the benefits just didn't outweigh keeping it.
Great car, but for what we want, it wasn't going to work long term. I think is the way I would put it.
So let's jump into now your dream car. We're sitting in the X5 xDrive 40i, and we got some benefits that I like as well.
Yeah.
This is an M Sport. Take a look at the full review, going over all the details. This is pretty much fully loaded. M Sport exhaust, M Sport suspension. We have the multi-contoured seats with the silverstone interior, so white on white basically. Great spec. The only thing it's missing is rear sunshades. It has everything else. It's also missing the hitch, but I can actually do a stealth hitch and still get the same towing benefits. So at some point, if this is our tow rig again, I'll slap that on and we're good to go. What would you like to talk about with your dream car? Because this will be a 5-year car minimum, I think. Without the plug-in hybrid stuff, I'm way more comfortable owning this outside of a warranty.
Yeah, I would agree. This is definitely more my color spec. I mentioned that I didn't mind the black leather before. It was beautiful, but I love a lighter leather car. In the summer, it doesn't get as hot. I just think it's just appealing to me. So I love that. It's very comfortable. The seats are really comfortable. We actually learned a lot about our previous car when we bought this one because we didn't know some of the features that it had, and we were shown the features that this one has and told, oh, well, both cars have them. So that was fun.
Somehow I forgot. reviewing cars, I don't like to admit that.
Yeah. So sometimes you forget things. But I love this car. I think it rides really nice. I will say the suspension is a little stiffer. And I don't mind it, but you do notice a little bit of a difference.
We're also riding on 22-inch wheels now.
Yeah, and
so this has the upgraded wheels too.
That's made me a little more cautious when I pull out of parking spots and I have curbs near me. No, I love this car. I love the new screen. We have the upgraded screen here. I think it's beautiful. It's the newer design, which I personally like better.
This is the LCI, for any of you wondering, the latest generation for the X5.
I think when we put it side by side, this looks, I mean, and it's supposed to, you know, each new generation gets better and better. It's beautiful. I think my favorite thing about it is just like the interior is beautiful.
Yeah.
I have no complaints.
It's a nice spec.
If I could put the suspension from my 45E into this version, that would be the only thing that I would change, other than obviously putting sunglass holders in both.
Yeah. This is a car that we plan on keeping for a while, and I have some modification plans for it. I already have a box in the garage that I'll be working on soon, so there will be some more content surrounding this particular model versus our previous one. So stay tuned. You can watch those videos. You can stay tuned for some of the fun parts coming for this one. It's still going to be wife approved, but we're going to have some fun aspects for myself, since I'm into performance vehicles, and we basically have a practical Toyota Supra with this engine.
Keep your eyes peeled, because he's trying really hard to convince me to let him wrap the top black.
We can't.
He's trying really hard to convince me to allow him to do something that I don't know if I want to do. So keep your eyes peeled for future videos to see if I finally cave in.
But we'll see. We'll rock, paper, scissors for it later.
Okay.
But I think that is going to wrap it up. We are in the dream car still for you, the X5. Phenomenal vehicle overall. I would go gas. You can get this. You can go with the twin turbo V8 as well, but the B58 is BMW's most reliable and healthy engine as far as power output goes too. So you can't go wrong with this. And it's not really all that expensive to keep on the road or maintain. So a lot of people stray away from luxury brands, but it's not really going to, I mean, it's not much more expensive, honestly, if you have a good driving record and great insurance company. You're good to go, right?
Yeah. So, and if you got someone that knows how to like tinker with cars, change the oil, that kind of thing, that helps a lot. But if you are looking for a luxury car, I mean, we've been in a lot of them just with, you know, Mike's job, and this by far outweighs everyone that I've been in.
Yeah, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed basically our collection day, getting our second X5. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads and the rest of the content surrounding this X5. And we'll see you all in the next video.
Bye, guys.